Unanswered questions about Pamela fucking Voorhees. Number 1.
Did Marcy predict her own death? Upon rewatching this once more, something caught my eye. Right before she gets clapped by Kevin Bacon, we have this very unsettling scene when Marcy tells Jack about her dream. I'll play the clip right here.
I had this dream about 5 or 6 times, and it's raining really hard. It sounds like pebbles when it hits the ground. The rain turns to blood, washes away in little rivers.
I call it my shower dream. She gets killed in a shower house. It's awfully parallel the way these things work out. Now, the Friday the 13th franchise does not shy away of things like superstition and supernatural elements, especially later on and at the end of this film with dream sequences. It's only safe to say this world is built upon supernatural elements. Could this be one of them? I find it kind of a missed opportunity and a waste of Marcy's character. Given the low budget of this movie, I do feel like they could have worked Marcy's character in more within that aspect. After all, this film does take place on Friday the 13th. So is Marcy actually having a premonition of her death all of these years? Of her trying to drown out the rain, and then the rain turns to blood? I tell you one thing, if I have a shower dream, I'm not going in the shower house.
Number 2.
How long was Pamela under that bed? She legit got a first class ticket to Pound Town. It's safe to say she did this for stealth. This takes place right after killing Ned, because Ned observes them being all lovey-dovey. And in this freeze frame right here, if you stop it at the right time, you can actually see Pamela Voorhees. I really love these blink and you miss it moments. So after killing Ned, I suppose she hears or sees Jack and Marcy going up to get some So she hides under the bed. But now she's got to hear and feel the spring vibration just boom, boom, boom. That's f***ed up. But on top of all that, it's kind of a missed opportunity to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Literally. It could have been done right then and there. Now there's a fine line between where Pamela's mind is at. From what we can see, for the most part, she can try to manipulate her way out of trouble, to point the suspicion away from her. But we can also see that doesn't last very long, before her psyche breaks. I mean, why not take them both at once, right? In the opening credits, you kill those 2 teenagers, no problem. So I don't think it's a fact of being outnumbered. Maybe her confidence level is just a roller coaster at this point. She does like to pick them off one by one, which does make most sense, but she's also not a stranger of a 2-on-1 situation. So for Pamela to be under that bed and having to witness Marcy just get down, pile-drived, absolutely obliterated by Jack's monster and I say that, no homo, because it's a running gag in the community about his bulging underwear. Here's another clip of that. I mean, if that man's packing that, I mean, good job, Jack. Good job.
Number 3.
Was it Crazy Ralph that sent the police at the end of the movie? Once again, a quick reminder, we can't break the 4th wall. Can't blame anything on production errors, continuity errors. We can't step outside of the box of deleted scenes, novelizations. What interests me about this the most is that Crazy Ralph's character is often overlooked. We're going to talk about Ralph a decent bit in this movie and in Friday 2. It's kind of ludicrous to me that everybody believes in this superstition of Camp Blood and the bad juju that goes on there, but yet they call Ralph crazy about it. But we'll get into that later. So from the early stages of the movie, we know that he can sniff out outsiders like that. He has the nose of a hound dog, but he takes it a step further and actually bikes into Camp Crystal Lake to spy on them, even getting caught by Alice. Now the only backstory we have of Ralph is that he's a little cuckoo, but he does have a wife.
Ralph was out your way today. His wife was a nervous wreck till we got him home.
If Crazy Ralph is obsessed enough to go hiding in pantries to spy on these people, who's to say he didn't go back that night and witness some of the murders? Or find the aftermath of the murders? Because at this point, there was nobody left to call the police. The only other scenario is that the cop that drove Steve a portion of the way back to the camp might have went back to check on him. Maybe he saw that Steve's Jeep was still there and he got concerned. So chat, which one was it? Was he doing a follow-up for Steve? Or did Crazy Ralph come through for Alice? You decide.
I can only count to 4.
Why did Pam wait to start her massacre? It's safe to say that Steve and Alice had been there for a while, because when everybody else shows up, they're already working on the cabins. And the backstory that we get for Pamela is we know she killed those teenagers back in the 50s. There's been random fires, poisoned water, and numerous things to keep that camp closed down. Now, if Pam was actually that close to the Christies, she would actually have first-hand insight about Steve going to fix the cabins up, to reopen the camp. Wouldn't it be easier to kill Steve and Alice, hide their bodies to get them out of the way? Because when everybody else shows up, they're going to see nobody's there. And they're going to say, well, damn, scratch that. Can't stay here by ourselves because we're not getting paid. I guess we're gonna go home. Because 2 weeks away from that, the kids were supposed to show up. But the camp's not open, the kids can't come. And the counselors ain't gonna work for free. That would seem like the logical thing to do. But we all know Pam is missing a few screws up here, you know? Or, over the years, did she just become bloodthirsty? And she got off by killing people. Or hiding under the beds or getting pounded out. Ooh, baby, ooh, baby. In the opening credits, why didn't Pamela kill the other counselors? Could it be in some strange way she knows that this was the couple that was responsible for Jason's death? This also makes me question her morality. Because in the start of the movie, all the counselors are over there singing Kumbaya, hallelujah to the Lord. But we see Pamela go through these cabins in this POV shot and the kids are asleep, untouched. So is she sympathetic for the young and just out to get the older teens? And this is 1 year after Jason drowned. So I imagine at this point she has to be mentally at her worst. It's still fresh on her mind. Her emotional turmoil is still at a high. So was she trying to send a message? Was that couple actually responsible for Jason's death? Why not hold every one of them accountable and kill them all? Wipe the slate clean. Them all. It's unfortunate that 2 counselors got murdered. That's going to send a message. But you know what's going to send a bigger message? All of them are dead. Every one of them. Dismember them. Put them on display. Make it so heinous nobody would ever come back to that camp. Put their heads on sticks. Make scarecrows out of their body parts. I'm just playing. Don't do that. I got to stop before YouTube blocks this video.
Number 6.
Why did Enos give Annie a lift just to try to talk her out of it? Look at Enos trying to grab ass. Pervert.
All the girls up there gonna look as good as you?
Yeah, you canceled, buddy.
This also goes back to my previous statement before of how was the whole town in agreement about her not going to Camp Crystal Lake? But when Crazy Ralph warns her about it, just like he does, Crazy Ralph is the crazy one. What? I mean, at this point, 20-something years later, this place has become an urban legend. And it's through this truck driver, Enos, that we actually get the backstory of the camp. The random fires, the bad water, the multiple attempts of trying to stop people from reopening this camp. It's even got a name now, Camp Blood. Does it make logical sense? No, not really. But I guess he did heed the warning. But I feel like he did that just because he thought Annie was cute. But to be like, oh, you know, I'll take you halfway to your death. Peace out.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason.
Voorhees. Was Pam doing target practice on Bill? Boom, a shot in the d***. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Bill got shot in the d***. He probably got the worst death of all. But when Alice finds Bill, we see not one, not two, but a couple of arrows in Bill. It's pretty safe to say Bill's cause of death was a slit throat. Now, I'm not too sure how he's hoisted up against that door, but the only explanation about this is that Pam killed Bill, hoisted him up on that door, and then in a psychotic break, she's just like, you know what? Boom. An eye shot. Cool. Boom. Okay, I got one in the neck. Boom. Ooh, I got you right in the stomach. And the worst one of all, boom, a shot in the d***. Considering this happened off screen, I hope he got shot in the dick last. Because otherwise, he either got shot in the eye, however you want to do it, but I think the throat came first, just by the POV shot leading up to his death. But why'd you have to shoot the man in the dick? Come on, Pamela, have some decency.
Number 8.
Did Pam make herself some coffee? This might seem like a dumb question, but hear me out. If we're not breaking this fourth wall, right? Can't blame continuity errors, production errors, lazy writing, none of that. We can see that the last time Alice makes herself some coffee, she doesn't put the cap on correctly. Pure example right here, I'll throw up the picture. But then after finding Bill, she runs back to her cabin, and it's fixed. The coffee lid is fixed. But in the same scene, you can also see that the key ring is hanging on the light switch right here. You can also see the keys in this scene. After the fight with Pamela, she goes back into the kitchen again. And guess what's missing? The keys. Considering Alice is basically second in charge, other than Steve, she would have the keys to everything. So it's my belief that Pam actually went inside her cabin again, made herself some coffee. I'm joking. But it can't be coincidence that the keys are now missing. Right? This would also explain how Pamela got into the cabin so easy. I mean, Alice barricaded the door stupidly because the door swings outward, not inward. Like that's going to do any good. Now the rope aspect is smart. The barricade, not so much. But for us to see keys in the background twice, and then the third time the keys are gone, is it coincidence? I don't think so. I've already given some pretty good examples about blink and you miss it moments. I do think this was intentional, even without breaking the fourth wall. If that was supposed to happen or not, it's pretty convenient for Pamela to go back in there and take those keys. And she probably got a little cup of coffee, you know, need a little boost.
Bonus question.
Why did Pamela put the axe in the bed like that? Was this to play cat and mouse with Bill and Alice? I mean, she put that axe there on the pillow and covered it up like it was a fucking child. The only scenario I can think of is she planted that there for them to find it, freak out, go searching everywhere, realize they do not have a way out, so that Pamela can finally pick them both off one by one. I mean, it's not like she threw it on the bed, right? I mean, it's showcased oddly perfectly in the dead center of the pillow, covered in blood, with the blanket on top of it to snuggle the axe up. Come on, Pam, what the fuck?
This is number 9 and 10.
What happened to Jason? This is going to be a 2-part question. Question number 1, what happened to Jason? Question number 2, is Jason alive and helping Pamela? Now, throughout the series, I really try to stay unique with these questions and not ask the same fucking question everybody else does. Now, I wasn't going to go into this because this is one of the most biggest mysteries and arguments in the community. But I decided to include this because of one scene.
Well, I'm Mrs. Voorhees.
Now, the reason I decided to add this is because I've been to Camp Nobiscope. We did a tour there where they filmed this movie, so I have a really good memory of the layout of this campground. And I'm here to tell you, when Brenda is thrown through that window, we immediately see Pamela drive her Jeep. But the issue with that is the cabin Alice is in, and the big loop that Pamela drives, there is less than a minute between throwing that body and her arriving. Now, this is not a close distance. It is physically impossible for Pamela to throw Brenda in that window, run through that large patch of woods, get inside her Jeep, go around that big loop, and then show up back at Alice's cabin. So was Jason actually helping Pamela? Now, I know this is going to spark huge debate because this is one of the most debated things about these first 2 films. And I'm not here to argue. Whatever's in your headcanon is in your headcanon. But one thing me personally I can't agree with is that people saying that Jason isn't alive in this film, but is alive in the second one. If they're both canon, Jason has to be alive during this time. Again, if it wasn't for this one scene, I wouldn't even brought it up. So let's talk about this front to back. The only solid piece of evidence to back that up, no matter what your fan theory is, no matter what your headcanon is, we know for a fact that Jason was here that night because in part 2, Jason has the shrine with Pamela's head, her sweater, and her pants. So Jason was there to pick up the pieces. Literally. So who's to say that he wasn't actually involved in helping his mother, whether Pamela knew about it or not? And that's a whole different conversation in itself. Regardless on what people believe, that is the one fact nobody can deny. Otherwise, you're saying part 2 is not canon. But if you say that, part 3 isn't canon. And if you say that, part 4 isn't canon. And it's just a domino effect. If you deny that one fact of evidence, you might as well say this Friday the 13th franchise doesn't exist at all. And what's crazy about this as well is that we can see if Pamela doesn't surprise attack somebody, she really struggles. She struggles with Alice, and Alice is pretty fragile. Pamela can barely get it up when it comes to fist contact. So I don't see her throwing Brenda's body like that through the window. I can see her hanging Bill on the door. It might be tough for her, but it's plausible. But chat, there's no way that was Pamela. About 40 to 45 seconds for Pam to throw Brenda's body, run through that large thing of woods, and to show up at Alice's cabin. It is not possible. So did Jason not drown? Was he helping Pamela all along? I mean, Jason would be a grown man by now. We know that he was at Camp Crystal Lake that night because he got his mother's head. So why is it such a stretch to say that Jason did help in this one particular scene? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for taking part of your day to keep with me. You know I appreciate it. I love you all. Until next time, when I see you on Friday the 13th part 2, 10 things I still cannot explain. Adios.